This is Ben Booth. I'm reporting from Venice, Louisiana, the oil spill of British petroleum in the Gulf of Mexico. You know, Venice is on a long stretch of the Mississippi that reaches out 70 miles into the Gulf. It is perhaps the dirtiest body of water filled with industry, shipping, all kinds of chemical manufacturing, all kinds of minerals. It is one dirty piece. It is so dirty that it is said that it creates a algae plume in the Gulf that eats up the oxygen, and that there's a dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico now as big as the state of New Jersey. On the way to Venice, you're completely surrounded with waterways, and it's all the Mississippi. Venice has marinas, and there are shrimpers along the Mississippi here. But here, with this oil spill, the shrimpers cannot work. They've been banned from fishing because of the chemicals in the water. And so, driving down this road to Venice, it's a long two-lane road. You see a lot of idle ships, a lot of sad-looking fishermen. Little towns like, well, we found a town like Bootheville, my namesake. And then after you go through Bootheville, you see all kinds of, again, mineral, oil, and chemical companies. The waters there look like they're clear, but underneath the surface are millions of gallons. Some say anywhere from 2 to 6 million gallons of chemicals have been dumped into this Gulf as a result of this oil spill. And some people feel like that the fishery will be damaged forever, for many, many years. We wanted to go down there because our company can help provide proof of damage to these fishermen and the people that have been affected, so that perhaps they can get reimbursed. But while we were there, we met some great people that are experts from throughout the world, that wanted to actually tell us what they know and what solutions they see. And I'd like for you to listen to one of the most smartest in the nation. Here he is. What do you think of what's going on here?
I'm Larry Schweiger, and I'm president of the National Wildlife Federation, and we're here just near the mouth of the Mississippi River, where this massive oil spill caused by the failure of a BP operation. We're looking at a spill that's the size of the state of Delaware or more, and a spill that's been now treated with chemicals of unknown quality or quantity. I understand a third of the dispersal agents that are in the world today have been thrown at this spill, and there hasn't been any disclosure about what the chemical is that they put on this water, but I can tell you what it's doing. Everybody's been looking for the oil slick. Well, the oil slick is now under the water. This dispersant has caused the oil to go into the water column I describe it as commingle with the water. You see these little beads of oil that are floating so thick that you can't see into the water more than 3 or 4 feet. Normally you can see into that water 25, 30 feet. So it's these oil particles are moving around as the water moves, will eventually reach the bottom. Some of those particles will be taken up by fish. We were watching today a sea turtle swimming in the midst of a bunch of this oil, eating man-o-wars that were under distress because of the pollution and because of the dispersants in oil combination. This cocktail is clearly having enormous impact on these critters. And
would it be better, I know it's politically for it not to be visible to the human eye, but wouldn't it be better for it to be on the surface so we could at least then maybe get some of it out?
Everything about the way the BP has approached this has been a set of failures. It's almost, building establishing a drilling operation out there without having properly trained people to deploy booms, deploy cleanup, to use safe materials to sop up the oil, and to allow that oil just to spread as it has here. It's just a series of colossal mistakes, and I hope I'm wrong. I'm afraid that the dispersants are going to have other complications. I think they're highly toxic.
Now we know the fishing industry is damaged, and probably the tourism, the food industry. Well, there's no way to calculate the damage to the environment, is there?
Well, if you think about it for a moment, this is America's seafood basket. This is the place where 50% of our shrimp come from. This is a place where 40% of our oysters come from. This is the place where 20 to 30% of our finfish come from. And we have allowed an oil company to dump millions upon millions of gallons of oil into that system, and then to disperse that oil into the water column itself where the fish live, where the shellfish live. And to give you an example, the oysters, for every one part of oil in the water, they biodify that 1,000 times.
Wow.
So they actually act as vacuum sweepers to sweep up the oil, sweep up the pollution. And so then we're supposed to eat these things. We can't expect when you have this type of an accident and disaster to throw a bunch of chemicals at it and expect it to go away. It's just simply in a different system. It may not destroy or damage wetlands the way it was intended, the way it would have if we were left it alone. But using these harsh chemicals has its own consequence, and it's a consequence, I think, to the fishery.
Is your membership pretty upset? Are you getting a lot of correspondence?
We are, in fact. I'm just in about a half hour. I'm going to have a call with probably 10 to 12,000 hunters and anglers across America who are concerned, want to know more, want to be involved in finding a solution.
Yeah.
And it's going to be an interesting phone call. We've done these before, and this one's particularly going to be problematic because so many people are upset and want to know what's going to be done to protect the resources that they love.
We appreciate what you're doing. Thanks for being in Venice, Florida.
The reason this should be important to you is these shallow wetlands around the coastal areas are where the baby shrimp, the oysters, the baby fish, the baby birds, the baby turtles, they all breed. And if their waters, if the chemical makeup of what they eat is damaged, we simply won't have a fishing industry again. Everyone should be interested in this, everyone should be concerned about it, and everyone should be certain that we make industry be responsible. And maybe we should consider this thought. Why aren't we putting wind turbines in the ocean that can produce clean energy? Never has there been a spill or even the loss of one life with a wind farm in the ocean. Why not keep these waters pristine and use the wind to generate our electricity instead of going to the old ways of the past, the old ways of oil? This is Ben Boothe with Environmental Solutions. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you, and we can help you collect on damages if you need us. Thank you.